since I've seen you guys and spoken with you. I've missed you. Last time we were in my Egyptian kitchen. Today we're in my Canadian kitchen. So welcome to Montreal, Canada. I thought, why not create something together to honor the First Nations and Métis and Inuits of Canada. I learned so much about them when I went to Ottawa last time, and I continue to want to learn about other cultures, people from all around the world. So today we're going to make an Indigenous Canadian soup called Three Sisters Soup, and I thought, let's do it together. Why is it called Three Sisters? Three Sisters means three things: beans, corn, and squash. Those three plants are always together, planted together, because they help each other out like sisters. So let me quote something that I think explains it better than I ever will. So, Native Americans interplanted corn, beans, and squash in the same mound. The three thrive together because corn provides a natural pole for the beans to climb, and the beans fix nitrogen in the soil, and the squash leaves shade the ground to prevent the growth of weeds. This is why it's always three sisters, and this is why those three plants are always very prominent in native cuisine. It's important to honor and remember, or honor the First Nations and Indigenous people who are here, and remember those who are not here, and to honor their culture and to honor their traditions. Let's do this! I'm so excited. We are going to have butternut squash, an onion, corn. You can use fresh corn or frozen corn or canned corn. We're gonna have crushed tomatoes, celery, and carrots. More ingredients that I'll introduce as we go. So we are going to dice all of this. We're gonna do the mise en place. Mise en place means we're gonna prepare everything, dice it all up, and then it's all gonna be in one pot. Boom, 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 shaka boom. We're gonna get the onion. We are going to keep the root. We're gonna keep the root because the root keeps the onion together. We're gonna cut from here, and then we are going to cut it in half. And then we're gonna peel. So we're gonna get the half, get your knife, and you're gonna follow the lines. It depends on how thick you want your onions to be. It's a soup for me, and we're gonna saute the onions, so it doesn't have to be like super thin. So we're just gonna make lines according to the lines that already exist in the onion. And then to make the dices even smaller, you're just gonna put your hand over the onion, and you're slowly going to cut with your knife in the middle. So be careful, you don't want to hurt yourself. So you're just gonna hold it firm and do this. And then you're gonna do the claw, okay? You do not want to hurt yourself at this stage. So you're gonna do a claw like that. Hold your onion, and you're gonna do like a train, like a choo-choo motion. It's like your knife is going on a choo-choo train, on a choo-choo trip. So choo-choo, choo-choo. And that's how you have your diced onions. So we are going to put this in a bowl. Every First Nation tribe has their own additions, their own way to do the Three Sisters soup. So as long as you have the three sisters, the corn and the beans and the squash, then you're good to go. It's a very adaptable recipe. You can put meat, you can put more vegetables, you can put anything you want. I just diced up some carrots, and now we're gonna move on with the other vegetables, and then we're gonna make the soup. So I am going to get this, and we're gonna cut it in half. Just slide your knife across. After you slide it across, you basically put them together and decide on the thickness that you like. And I could put this all together because we're gonna saute them at the same time. The onions need to be in a separate bowl because we're gonna put them first, and then we're gonna saute them until they're translucent, and then we're gonna add the rest of the vegetables. These take longer to cook, so we are gonna saute them right after the onions are properly translucent, because we don't wanna put everything all at once and then the vegetables boil instead of saute. Is it easier to just cut it in half scoop out the seeds and roast it in the oven for an hour? Definitely. But do you want to get an extra tray and then roast it and wait for it to get done? Today, I'm just gonna dice it up and use it in the soup because this is a one-pot soup. And we wanna just put everything inside, leave it to simmer on its own, and develop the flavor on its own. It's a very simple and easy soup, so we don't want to clean more dishes, we don't want to open the oven. We just want one stove, a lot of vegetables, a lot of nutrition, a lot of good things, and just eat. I'm actually gonna cut this in half, and this is gonna make the dicing part easier. I can basically cut it in half and cut off the skin, but you know what? I have a peeler right here, so why not just try to peel it like that? Look at how orange it is. It's like tree color, like autumn tree color. It's stuck!
1 hour later.
We're back and it's washed. And I might have a mess underneath my feet, but you will never know. We're going to slice this into equal. Always keep your hand clawed. 1! And this is going to determine the thickness of your dice. We are going to make lines equal distances depending on how thick you want your dices to be, how big you want them. So for the beans, I want to show you guys, I actually have, they say beans, there are recipes with green beans and there are recipes with like pinto beans and different type red beans. So I just got a collection that incorporates all beans. So, and I didn't incorporate green beans, I didn't get that. So basically this is the beans that I got. It's a collection of multiple beans. So this is what we're going to be using today, and I'm going to use a cup of it. Are you ready? Because I am. So we're going to open the heat, and this is where the whole line between, this is where the line between vegan and not vegan comes into place. I will be using butter, but you can use olive oil as a vegan alternative. I will be using chicken stock. You may use vegetable stock to make it completely vegan. This recipe is so adaptable. If you can't have a meal without meat, then you can totally add meat. The first step you would do in order to incorporate meat into the dish is to brown the meat on all sides here first. And then you saute the onions and everything. By adding the stock and everything, you're gonna deglaze the pan, and the golden, beautiful layer that caused the meat to brown in the first place will incorporate into the soup and have a very stew-like depth of flavor. So let's get into it. 2 tablespoons of butter. And wait for it to melt. Butter is bubbling. We are going to get our trusty pumpkin spatula, our onions, our diced onions. We're gonna put them and we're gonna saute them. Salt. I love this salt. It's an Italian mix. Juniper, pink pepper, rosemary, bay leaves, and cinnamon. Once the onions are good to go and they're fully translucent and gorgeous, that's when you put the garlic. Never put the garlic with the onions because garlic usually burns very quickly. So you don't want to put it in the beginning because then it'll just burn. So I'm going to put 4 cloves of garlic. Now that I can smell the garlic, I'm going to put my celery and carrots. I'll saute them for about 5 minutes, I'd say. And then I want to incorporate the butternut squash. The reason why I'm doing this in order is because those vegetables are the ones that are going to take the most time to get done. So celery, carrots, and butternut squash are going to take a longer time to fully soften and become perfect once we simmer the soup. We want to saute them, caramelize them a little bit, just bring out the flavor of them. I'm going to be putting the beans and the corns last because they're already done, so they just need like 15 minutes because we don't want them to be too mushy. We want them to hold their shape. I don't usually like to season a lot in the beginning because we're still going to add stock. We're gonna add the herbs, we're gonna add everything else. I need to see how much salt my broth has. When it's simmering, we can adjust the flavor and let it all marinate. It's always best in every dish you make to go little by little because it's easy to add, but it's not easy to take away. So right now we're going to be adding the crushed tomatoes. Going to add it. And we're gonna mix it up well. This is my favorite part. هنحط thyme, oregano, fresh bay leaves. Oh, it smells so beautiful as it تشموا الherbs. Pepper. Things that you put in your pantry بعد سنة الفليفر you lose the flavor. So always try إنه بالذات مع الherbs والأشياء دي to bring a small علبة and تحاولوا تخلصوها وتجيبوا جديد أول بأول عشان this is how you're gonna ensure إنه it's very fresh. Hello, I'm back. So now we're gonna put the corn, 1 cup of the beans, and I'm gonna put it in. We're gonna stir it together. We are done. Top it up with parsley. It's so heartwarming. It's so fall. The flavors are very warm. They match well together. They merge perfectly together. It's so delicious. Three sisters, so-called... What? Most important thing is, like I said, the three sisters. Squash, beans... What is it? What's the last one? Corn. It's kind of what, Yasmeen? It's kind of what? إيش هذا؟ وقت التلاح.
Dicing
Squash. Are you recording? I think you are. مكيف فجأة قفل. I realized إنه الفيديو ممكن يكون كله فيه له مكيف في الباك جراوند.